insurance, what about some of the adoption of this exciting trend? Because it's not an easy industry to jump on any innovation out there, all right? They are driving huge amount volume, volume transaction. They're driving huge amount of claims alone, all right? So these are big ships. If it is smaller company, they probably little more agile. Every decision is really high value, high impact. So how do you see industries adapting and really driving us into that shiny future?
You have a lot of, as you said, insurance companies out there. And I would say to remain relevant for the customers, many realize they have to start shifting and changing the way they do things. So partly, the change will be driven because they have to do it. I'm not going to say everybody is going to be doing it. However, the leaders, the Fortune 500s, the big ones, realize they have to jump on this digitization bandwagon to serve their customer better. Whilst, InsurTech has suffered a little bit this year, some insurers are still scared of the insurance technologist, which is entering the market and them taking market share from them. So how are they responding? I mean, many, as you would expect, will try to improve processes. They are going to use this, artificial intelligence or process automation capability to either give them the ability to analyze things better, being able to profile customers, to still provide underwriting which is fair, to tackle and target this underserved market. So providing insurance which is affordable for the customer. But they also will have to start looking at the automation, right? Creating that seamless and friction-free processes where, from your mobile device, we are moving to the mobile internet, right? From your mobile device, you can do pretty much everything. So some of the shift will be process-driven. Some of the shift will be platform-driven, where we are going to consume products. Then when you start looking at how we make money, it's about understanding the emerging risk entering the market. So think about cyber, right? I think when we talked last, we were having this conversation. You were leading a conversation and sharing conversation around artificial intelligence and cyber security. When you start looking at the way we work and we consume today, we are all remote worker. We are digital worker. We are creators. And so we therefore are much more prone to be attacked through cyber risk. So new product and new services are going to emerge to serve the customer of the future. And insurers have to take advantage of building and being part of designing the product of the future. So I mentioned cyber. I would say a big part of this will be around sustainability, ESG, so environmental, social, and governance structures, which means we need to design products which are more akin to solving for transition risk. So moving from using fossil fuel to moving to non-fossil fuel, renewable energy, would be around urban risk, us living in cities. 60-70% of us will live in cities, whether we are old or young. So how do we make sure that the cities we are living in are healthy, are not prone to pollution, and improve, we can improve the air quality? That drives urban risk. Then, if you have bought an Apple computer or any technology over the past few months, you would see it will take forever for them to be delivered. Supply chain risk, how do you mitigate your revenue from supply chain issues due to the past few months? And the last area I think most insurers are focusing on right now is climate risk, catastrophic losses, flooding, wildfires. You probably heard a lot of those things happening again over the course of the past few months. Those are things which need to find new products and services. So first would be process, second would be product. But then to be able to do that, we start looking at new business models. So first, you have to look at circular economy to link to the ESG. So how you make your business model much more sustainable, how you can reuse and recycle and upcycle stuff. The second part will be monetization. How you actually move to a business model where you don't just take a premium once a year, you just little bit every month. to enable everybody to afford insurance in the short or longer term.
Mention few key points. Okay, I've heard creators and I've heard platforms, and that leads me to next question about creator economy. All right, so how InsurTech or insurance company will move forward with all the new opportunities with Web3 and Metaverse even? Could you cover, in your experience, what do you see happening out there?
If you remember, around the same time last year, it was around probably October, Facebook became Meta, and I think everybody said, okay, what is the thing? And it's interesting because what that Meta stuff means is that we are moving into Web3, which is the third generation of World Wide Web, which means instead of doing HTML or using a 2D environment like we are when we are writing a blog post, for example, on Facebook, LinkedIn, whichever platform we are using, we are now going to probably start moving into a three-dimensional world, which is much more immersive. So we have to wear those little goggles. But I think it's not just about, moving into the metaverse, one of the metaverses, and start becoming creators where people can experience our product and services and our brands, right? Because, Irene, you have SaugaTalks, so therefore you are a creator. Like myself, I am a creator, and I tend to like writing on social media. It's about getting people to experience who we are in three dimensions. So what does that mean for insurance? First, I guess we'll need to start building insurance product for the creator economy, wherever we are. If we are living in Cancun or on the beach in Bali, we will need to be able to have transportable insurance to be able to work and consume anywhere we are. I think second is understanding whether you think about Web3 or the metaverse. Right now, there are application and use cases around us moving to this world, either to first train people. So one of the initiatives we worked on this year was for a very large international insurer, who said to us, we'd like to improve the way our young people, our Gen Z, interact with us. So we looked at how we onboard and how we train young people using the virtual world, the metaverse, and get them into an immersive environment where they can learn faster and better. But I also see board members who and companies, insurance companies, which are trying to reduce their carbon footprint, now using metaverse-like environment to do their board meetings and avoid the travel cost or the carbon footprint creating from a group of executives flying into countries for board meetings. So those are two very simple examples. I think the one I'm much more excited by is think about companies like energy companies. Think about Engie, think about Total, think about Siemens. Those organizations are in the industrial world. And today they can replicate whether they are building or asset into through digital twins into a digital environment, right? You and I can also have our avatars, our digital self. But what that means is that now you don't rely on people being in countries to go and visit sites. You can work with anyone in the world. People in Asia, people in Africa, people in Latam can be trained to actually solve problems regardless of where they are by immersing themselves using those 3D glasses into that metaverse environment. And now you are allowing the democratization of wealth and the democratization of skill by using those environments to enable people to repair things like your Genius Bar, regardless of where they are. And I think that's where we are going to start using Web3 and Metaverse environment to enable business to be much more successful. Now, I know the NFT world is a little bit weird at the moment, but then to pay for the service, you can pay them with digital currencies. And so then you end up building a third world where you don't have physical money. You can actually recruit anybody anywhere in the world, and you can solve problems really fast, regardless of what problems that is, technological problem that is, right, in countries. And I think that's where people need to start realizing that this metaverse creator economy and Web3 could actually lead to interesting new worlds.